Okay, so today we're going to do one-step division equations. So by now you've kind of figured out we're always doing the inverse, the opposite. So if it's addition, we're going to subtract. If it's subtraction, we're going to add. If it was multiplication, we're going to divide. So here it's going to be division equation, so we're going to multiply. So we're going to do 3 of them straight up, and then we're going to do 5 of they're one-step equations with fractions. Those are the ones that I think are going to be more challenging for you. So examples 4 through 8 are going to be those. All right, so what I'd like you to do is get into delta, and then we're going to start with this one. So all of you get in here, and then open up example 1, and let's just write it down. And I know that you may be able to do this, or you probably, all of you can do this in your head. The point is I want you to learn how the algebra step looks like, the transformation that we're going to do. Okay, especially once we start throwing in negatives, and especially once we get fractional coefficients in the next type of examples. Okay, so everyone write down n divided by 4 equals 6. So some number divided by 4 equals 6. We want to figure out what that number is. Yes. Oh, Diana, did you want? By the way, you just made a cameo in my video. I'm recording this, so. All right. See, I got another cameo. All right. So let's see. What's the opposite of dividing by 4? Multiplying. This is how we show this. I want you to do it. Parentheses. We love parentheses for multiplying. And basically, that's going to cancel. Here's why. Would you agree that 4 can be written as 4 ones, right? 4 could be written as 4 ones. So what I'm multiplying is 4 over 1 times n over 4. What happens with these 4s? They cross out, cross cancel, however you want to say it. They go away, leaving just n equals 24. So what we're saying is 24 divided by 4 equals 6. Okay? You probably could have done that in your head, but we want to learn the transformation step. Okay? Okay, let's move on to example number 2. I think we throw in a negative or 2. You guys ready? Okay, so everyone write down this equation, please. This is going to be example 2. Y divided by negative 6 equals negative 5. Okay. So again, it's a division. We're dividing by negative 5. So we want to do the opposite of dividing by negative 5. What's the opposite of dividing by negative 5? Multiplying. And so we're going to multiply, use a parentheses again. And the number we're going to divide by is negative 6. Okay? Again, think of it as negative 6 over 1. We're multiplying a pair of fractions, right? We can cross cancel. And I'm just left with y. And what does y equal? 30, positive 30. Negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, so remember our rule. Negative times a negative is a positive. So the answer here would be positive 30. Okay. So let's do example 3. Okay, so here we have negative 6 is equal to r divided by positive 10. Okay, Yes. Okay. My question first, though, is can I rewrite this? How can I rewrite it? If you like, you don't have to. You can do that. So, okay, Juan, tell me, what do I have to do algebraically to get that negative 60?
So you do like the 10 on the side, and then that box, the thickness of the 10 on the bottom. So then you hit center there and then multiply negative 6 times 10
Okay. Okay, that's going to give me negative 60. Perfect. And if you wanted to do it on this particular one, we're always dividing or multiplying the number that's with the variable. I'm going to put parentheses around that negative 6 to show I'm not subtracting them, I'm multiplying them. Either way, you get negative 60. Okay. Any questions on any of these three? Okay, easy stuff, right? Okay. The next part, I'm not going to say it's hard, but it'll deal with fractional coefficients. So we got to remember some rules, some things we learned back when we were dealing with rational numbers, okay? Okay, so let's go to example 4. Okay, write this down. 4/3 times t equals 9, sorry. Okay, write that down. 4/3 times t equals 9. There's a couple of ways you can do this. And basically, I'm going to ask you which one you're more comfortable with, okay? Are you guys ready? So right now it looks a little intimidating, right? You got a fraction there. So here's method number 1. In fact, I'm going to give myself a little more room and rewrite it. So let me say 4/3 times t equals 9. Okay. Method number 1 deals with removing the denominator first. What's my denominator? 3. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of 3 in 4/3. Think of it as division. So I'm going to multiply like I just did. I'm going to multiply by 3. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other. That's the transformation rule, okay? What's going to happen with these 3's? Think about it. They cross out like they did before. So I no longer have 4/3 t. I just have 4t equals, let me write down the t, equals 27. So now how do I get rid of that 4? Divide. So second step, divide. Okay. And I get t equals, well, 4 doesn't go into 27, right? Let's just leave it as an improper fraction because yesterday we learned that that's as much as we can do. We get 27/4. Okay? Our answer is 27/4. So did you see what we did though? What was the first thing we did? Let's see if we can think through our steps. Yes.
So we took the denominator and then like made that the number and then cancel out the other 3.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm understanding you correctly, we took to the denominator and multiplied that, right, on both sides.
Yeah.
So we can cancel it. And then we divided by 4, which was the coefficient. Okay, that's method number 1. multiply by the denominator, then you divide by the coefficient, the number that were next to the variable. Okay, method 2. Ready? Let's see, 4/3 t equals 9. Okay, write it down again. I know we're doing it twice, but this is a different method. So write it down one more time, and then you'll see whichever one you're more comfortable with. Now, here's how method 2 works. We want to zap out all of 4/3. We don't want to do this two-step thing, right? So here's the deal. What number can I multiply 4/3 by? So I want to multiply 4/3 by something so that it cancels. In other words, it becomes 1. So something times 4/3 equals 1. What is it? We want to multiply it by its reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 4/3? 3/4. Well, no, you don't switch the sign on the reciprocal. That's going to be important. If a number is negative, its reciprocal is negative. If a number is positive, it's reciprocal. All you do is you take the denominator and numerator and flip them. So 3 goes here, 4 goes here. But we got to do that on both sides. Okay? Multiply by the reciprocal. Because look, 3 cancels with 3, 4 cancels with 4, and no longer have denominator or numerator. We just have t. And on the other side, I'm multiplying 9 ones, right? And what's my answer when I multiply 9 ones times 3/4? Same answer, right? So we have two options. Method 1. First multiply through by the denominator, then multiply through by the coefficient. Or method 2, multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Which one do you prefer? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Show me with your fingers. 1 or 2. Here's a vote. Okay, I'm mostly seeing 2s. So we'll go with 2, but just recognize that you have this other option.
I think method 2 is the one they use in show example.
Probably.
Yeah. Method 2, like if you go to show example for every help, that's the method they use. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Considering this is an algebra level 1 or pre-algebra. Well, I did it for pre-algebra, but okay. Well, 27. What did we say? Okay. Okay, let's try example 5 now. We're going to go quicker. So, 2/5 S. By the way, I made a cursive S so you don't think it's a 5 equals 4. Okay. Reciprocal method. What am I going to multiply both sides by? 5/2. 5/2. On the other side, 5/2. Cross cancel. You're left with S equals, let's see what I get. I'm just going to I'm not going to even reduce anything. I'm going to say 4 times 5 is 20. 1 times 2 is 2. I get 20 halves, which is 10. So we should get 10. Okay. So let's try example 6. Yes.
When the reciprocal or fraction when the original fraction is negative, when the negative makes sense of the reciprocal.
Yeah, we're going to do that right now, in fact. On this one. Is everyone on example 6? Negative 3/4 y equals 14. We want the reciprocal of negative 3/4. Yes.
If you're doing method 1, if you were to keep 4 in the bottom, would it be negative 4?
I usually do the negative at the end. I would multiply by 4, then divide by negative 3. Eventually, you got to deal with that negative. Okay, so if you're doing method 1, I would multiply by 4, then divide by negative 3. Now, we want to multiply. I'm going to put parentheses around this so I don't confuse that negative with a subtraction. I want the reciprocal of negative 3/4. What's the reciprocal of negative 3/4? Negative 4/3. Remember, if your number's negative, its reciprocal is negative. Here's why. Or maybe you can figure it out yourselves. Why is it that it has to be negative as well? Why does it have to be negative? Yeah, negative times a positive is a negative. We don't want a negative y, we want y. So a negative times a negative is a, yeah, so we want to make sure this ends up positive y or just y. Okay? And what are we doing here? We're going to do a positive times a negative, so that's negative 56. Is that negative 56? Thirds. All right, I got negative 56 thirds. Can I reduce that? So our answer is negative 56 thirds? Have you tried it, guys? Is that the answer? We can always just try it. Negative 56 thirds. Did it work? Yay. All right. Just have a couple more. And another negative. You know, Delta Math loves to use s as a variable. You notice that? And my s's look like 5, so there you go. You got my cursive s. What am I multiplying by on both sides? Help me out. Negative 2/3. On both sides. Cancel, cancel. S. And that's going to be negative times a negative is positive 6 thirds, which simplifies to 2. Please tell me the right answer is 2.
Yes.
Okay. Boom. Okay. So for example 7, we should have gotten the answer 2. Last one. Okay, you tell me, do you want to solve it in this format or do we want to flip it?
Flip it.
Flip it? Okay. I like to flip this, yes. I want to get you comfortable with flipping equations over because once we start solving inequalities, things that don't have equal signs, it's going to be better to have the variable on the left side. You'll see why. Okay, so here we're going to multiply by negative 2/3, so divide by or multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 3/2. on both sides. So we're going to multiply both sides by negative 3 over 2. We're left with A equals 33 halves. So is the answer 33 halves? 33 halves it is. All right. So your job is to practice division equations. Okay? All right, guys. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I will be